This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. Lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles Podcast. I'm your host and founder of Special Chronicles, Daniel Smrokowski, and an athlete leader with Special Olympics Illinois. And today, well, not in studio, we are on location at the LaGrange Park Police Department, where we're going to be diving into a fun and meaningful conversation all about community inclusion and the Polar Plunge spirit. And we're joined by two members of the LaGrange Park Police Department, Tim and Nick, who are longtime champions of the law enforcement torch run and proud supporters of Special Olympics Illinois. You'll hear in this episode why the Polar Plunge matters to them, how they engage in the community, and the powerful impact this event has on athletes like myself with intellectual disabilities. For full show notes and to stream more episodes on demand and subscribe to the Special Chronicles podcast, visit specialchronicles.com, where you can listen anytime, anywhere on your favorite podcast apps. Let's get started, and I was going to say take the plunge, which we'll be doing by the time our listeners hear this in a week or two. But let's go ahead and put your virtual hands together as we dive into this plunge into this episode. Welcome, Nick and Tim.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Daniel.
Yes, it's good to have you both on the program, and for I think I was trying to remember when we first got connected. It might have been a few years ago.
Yeah, I would have to say it was probably maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So for our listeners, and we just before we started recording, we were trying to figure out when you first got involved with the law enforcement torch run and Special Olympics. So can you give us a little brief overview of when the LaGrange Park Police Department first got involved in the law enforcement torch run and Special Olympics Illinois, and just a little bit of that backstory.
Yeah, well, it all started kind of shortly after I got here. So about 2 years after I got hired here at LaGrange Park, I kind of came up with, we should probably get involved in this. My previous department was heavily involved in Special Olympics, and I saw the connection it made with the community and it made with Special Olympic athletes and all the great it does for when you do these fundraising and community connection events. So I pitched it to our bosses at the time, and they were very supportive. And this was around, 2019 is when we first started doing Special Olympic events and getting involved in Torch Run.
Awesome. And Tim, you kind of share from your perspective of how you. Sure. Did Tim throw you? I mean, did Nick throw you into this, or
He dragged me in by my heels. Yeah. So, I mean, Nick brought the idea to us, and we have been looking for, at the department at least, for a long time to kind of ways we can give back to the community. And we've heard about the torch run before, and had participated in some local events at the schools with Special Olympic athletes at different events. And we just wanted to find a way to kind of give back in a way that was kind of fun for everybody, and something we thought would be a crowd pleaser and get a lot of the department members involved. And Polar Plunge was a great idea. And it was, who doesn't want to jump in a cold bunch of water, right? And have a good time. Yeah. And it's just kind of taken its own life here since then. We've kind of blown it up to where we host a bunch of events throughout the year, and try to raise as much money as we can every year for Special Olympics. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit further on what else we do throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's now, I was going to say dive, maybe I should say plunge in to talk about why the Polar Plunge matters. I plunged with you guys last year, and now we'll be doing it again this March.
Just a few weeks from now.
Just a few weeks from now. And but I've been plunging for a number of years before that as well. What does the Polar Plunge mean to both of you, to this department, and to the community in LaGrange Park?
Sure. So for me personally, it's a way for me to give back in a different way. I'm big into service. Part of the reason why I chose this career. And Polar Plunge is fun because it's like a nationwide event, right? You see it happen everywhere. Yeah. And growing up, old baseball coach of mine, his sister was a Special Olympics athlete, and he always did the Polar Plunge every year. He did the big one down in the city with Lake Michigan, and always thought about joining it, just never got around to it. And then when Nick brought it here, I thought, hey, it's a great idea. I get a chance to actually do it. So, but actually going to the event and experiencing it and seeing the community support we get, the outpouring of support, everyone coming out to see us, and the big donations we get for it. It means a lot because it's a way that we can connect with everybody while supporting a great cause.
Awesome. And Nick?
Yeah. So Special Olympics is always something near and dear. My uncle was a Special Olympic athlete. So growing up, I had that exposure, and it was something that, I saw how special it was. The plunge itself is just not only for our department and the community, but it's a really unique event that you get all these people. You have police officers, you have private companies, you have community members, you have schools that all come. Because we usually do it out of Oak Brook in Region C, so it really, you see a full-fledged of different backgrounds and different parts of the community come together for this special thing. But our first year, it's funny that so it was during COVID, so we couldn't really go it. So you had to plunge your way. So I don't know what you did for that, but we ended up getting a dunk tank and doing a dunk tank in our front parking lot. Yeah. So the community came out, kids and everyone would come around and throw the balls at it, and it was pretty cold.
Yeah,
because we had to throw some ice in it.
But I think the water was actually warmer than it was outside that year too. I want to say it was like 25 degrees outside, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I remember that plunging in 2020, and I think what I did was I think I had a bucket of ice water that my dad, who's off camera, just pulled. We went outside and he pulled. Yeah, I'm sure our neighbors might have looked and wondered what was going on. But yeah, it's neat to that. Even during the pandemic, that we were still able to kind of find creative ways to still take the plunge.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's kind of where our dive into special kind of found its feet was during COVID. We were, there's social distancing, and everyone kind of had to be apart because of what was going on. It was a nice way to be able to kind of bring us back together again still, and kind of keep with that, our core mission here and our values to, really, provide for the community. And it was a fun way to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. And so now let's continue to plunge even further. I know when we actually do the plunge in Oak Brook, I know that there was a little dip that we that we have that. I don't know about you guys, but when we did it last year, I lost my balance a little. So
you and me both.
It really helps when you lose your balance. I think it really helps you even more to even physically take the plunging and go under.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The dunk tank was a unique experience because it was a little bit of a surprise. And then, if you've ever been to Oprah before, that after that first step, you think you're going to just walk your way in, and then all of a sudden there's nothing beneath you. And it's definitely a shock.
Yeah.
A funny story from a couple years ago when we were plunging, we had one of our records clerks came with us, and someone didn't realize there was that little bit loss of a step there, and ended up, I think, kind of giving her a kick to the face at one point. And so we came away a little bit scathed, but still a good experience overall.
Awesome. So for someone who's never done it before, because I'm sure we might have some listeners who have done the Polar Plunge, whether it's locally or across the country, across the globe, how would you describe the Polar? We we probably shared a little bit just now, but how would you both describe the Polar Plunge experience, besides the fact that it being cold, but and it probably, since we're doing it in March, it'll probably be a little
Hopefully
bit,
we get a little bit more. It's 61
Yeah.
degrees outside today. If I can get even just a little bit of that, that'd be good.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that we've got the first time plunging at Oakbrook, right, at a big event that like the one that Oakbrook hosts. I think really kind of showed me personally how inclusive an event it was, how many different aspects, you know, of the community it brought together. I mean, you have, the torch run's a big part of it. So you have a lot of police departments, but like kind of Nick said, private companies there, the sponsors of the event, different school districts have big teams. And it's cool to see everybody who in different walks of life that you might not see on a regular basis, or maybe not think you have share something in common with, come together and, you know, all do this for one cause. It's very eye-opening. It comes, you know, we sometimes think that we're all in different parts of the world or different parts of our lives and may not be able to communicate with each other, but to see kind of unite everybody in one group, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, awesome. Nick?
Yeah, it's a great event. The atmosphere is great. Everybody's excited and the energy is through the roof. So before we did it in Oakbrook, when I was in my previous apartment, we used to go down to Mantino. And I don't know if you've ever plunged down there, but that is like it is a whole atmospheric thing, which now Oakbrook is kind of turned into. You know, over the recent years, Oakbrook has kind of made it more of a whole experience. You know, there's food vendors there, music. You know, obviously everybody likes to dress up in their costumes to the theme of their team. It's a whole thing where you can meet athletes, speak with other people there, and share experiences of how it all, you know, is such a meaningful experience.
Awesome. And do you both have a favorite, or maybe I should say a funniest? We'll go with instead of favorite, because I'm sure a lot of people might ask that. But we'll go. Do you have a funniest plunge memory from whether it was last year or in the past?
Funniest. Well, I know Tim kind of touched on it when our records clerk, you know, wasn't funny at the time, but looking back, it was even back. It was looking pretty funny. She kind of, I think, someone, you know, when they dove in and didn't realize how deep it was, turned back and ended up hit her in the face accidentally. She was all right, but she got a laugh out of it too. But you know, I do actually have a favorite moment. So I was our first or second year doing it. We won the top cop for the most raised by a police department.
First year in Oakbrook.
First year in Oakbrook, yes. So the first year, so we're trying to repeat it. We're at 50% of our goal of 5,000, which we tend to like to go over. And I think last I checked, we were only about $200 short or behind Westchester.
Yeah,
so we're trying to close the gap here because we want that trophy again. It was a really cool trophy. You know, it's literally a plunger.
Yeah.
You know, with a little bear on it, polar bear, and then it says Top Cop. So that really meant a lot to us because it was, you know, it showed that like we had a great cast and supporting group around us, not just the members that plunged, but also everybody that gave donations, that came with, that supported us. You know, family comes, I know my wife and kids come, and other members' wives and kids come. So it's just a great way. And that's like one of my favorite moments of just seeing, you know, how it all comes together and, you know, seeing, you know, everybody work together for this great cause.
Yeah, awesome. Tim?
Yeah, I kind of talked about my funny story before was that unexpected jump in there. But yeah, I would kind of say the same thing as Nick. When we went into that first year at Oakbrook, we knew we were doing well fundraising. I don't think it was like a week before we realized that we were like the top raising department. And then it became our mission to win. We were like, all right, now we're going to win this thing. And, you know, that's the fun part, right? Healthy competition for everybody kind of gets us all, you know, for a good cause. And we were over the moon because we were pushing. It was the neck and neck race to the end there up until they stopped donations or cut off the donation mark for the Top Cop Award. Yeah. And we were people were calling friends, family members, and we hadn't hit up yet. You know, everyone was like, hey, throw me $1 or $2 here, get us over the top. And it was pretty fun because that was our first, you know, kind of big leap into the program. And for us to kind of, you know, succeed was gave us the push to keep going further. Yeah. You know, we saw what we could do.
Yeah, awesome. So you described a little bit about the scene at the Polar Plunge. Maybe go a little bit more in detail about what the energy is like on Plunge Day from other officers like yourself, from families, the community that comes out. What's the energy like both in that tent, but then also once we step onto that beach and take the plunge, kind of to take us through the whole day of what the energy is like.
So I guess I'll talk about kind of the get-go, and then I'll let Nick talk about the walk up to the beach, so we can split it up. I mean, when you first get there, it's a well-organized event. Oak Brook does a great job. Region C and all this. I know Oak Brook PD and their village is a big part of it too. They do a great job organizing the event. They get you shuttled over there in a timely fashion. They have plenty of tables and tents set up, and just in case it's too cold for everybody, they have nice warming centers. But it's a fun atmosphere. There's music, there's people talking, dancing. There's food trucks, coffee trucks. People usually bring donuts and stuff, and it's like I would say tailgate. It's kind of a good way to describe it. It's a tailgate. It's almost like you're going to sporting events, to jumping in the water, and this is like the pre-event. Everyone kind of getting their courage up to go do it, and it's just fun. It's a lot of conversation. You get to meet different athletes, different community members who support this program, and it's just it's fun. You get to connect with a lot of times. Nick and I run into people we've worked with before in other departments, and we get to see kind of how they're doing and to just share in the fun and joy we're all having there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so when you get down to the beach, it's go time, especially depending on the weather, or at least how the winter's been. I know last year wasn't too bad, but for the water. But I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, that was freezing, especially if you've done the plunge before, how cold it is. And I remember a few years ago, it took your breath away when it was how cold it was. But the overall atmosphere when you're getting down to that beach, everybody comes down there and they get with their teams and their lanes and everything like that. But you have all of the spectators, I guess you could call them, for this event, your family members, friends, teams that have went or waiting to go, and it's just lined up on top. And as they call your team in, you have everybody cheering and taking pictures and things like that. And it is just a magical thing just to see all the support. When you come out of that water, so you go in, you're like, okay, it's go time. And when you come out, you're feeling pretty refreshed. Yes, but when you are walking back up to the beach or from the beach, you see just everybody there cheering on, and it's just a great moment just to see all the support that our teams get, but also, the cause in Special Olympics itself, that it's really a special event for everybody involved. Yeah.
Awesome. And the fact that you're including me and other athletes to plunge with you it would probably be obvious that inclusion is a part of the department, is a part of the community. But how does participating in this Polar Plunge really help to promote inclusion within LaGrange Park?
Well, doing this Polar Plunge and meeting other athletes, it really, it could be life-changing. I mean, like I said, my uncle was a Special Olympic athlete, and he had a very big impact on my life growing up. He was big into sports and taught me a lot about sports. So I've always had that, especially with, individuals with the intellectual disabilities, how, they're a part of the community, they're a part of everybody's family, friends, everything like that. And, at the end of the day, they just want to be part of everything, just like everybody else. And these athletes will, they always have a smile on your face. You always come around and so excited for the events. We've had previous athletes sometimes at some of our other events and give out awards and things like that, or meet them at the conference. And they always, whenever I meet an athlete, I get excited. It puts a smile to your face. Like, they're excited, you're excited. It's a great thing to include everybody with this. And I think these events and participating in Torch Run really helps promote that. And for especially officers that come in new to joining our events, not everybody has exposure to, Special Olympic athletes. Again, like I was early on, in life, you had exposure. So, but not everybody gets that. A great opportunity, I would say. I think I was blessed with that, and it really taught me a lot. And for others to experience that and to learn from these athletes, because, I learn something every time I meet an athlete, So it really, it's just very impactful on your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming from the outside perspective, kind of with me, I don't have any family members who are directly affected by anything, but I think, you don't know what people are capable of until you meet them and talk to them, and I think what this event does is kind of show whether regardless if you have a disability or not, or intellectual disability, people are capable of so much. Yeah. And teaming up together to be able to kind of promote this cause is awesome. I mean, it was, for me, it was kind of a fun way to have fun outside of work, but still for a good cause. And then I remember Nick and I went down to our first kickoff conference a couple of years ago and getting to meet the athletes. And it's just kind of like Nick said, the joy and to see the impact we have when we do these kind of things. That's my driving force now. Yeah. Is if I can help an athlete or help become more included in the community, or help support them, reserve a baseball field or get equipment, or even just cheer them out at a sporting event, that makes it for me. Like that I think that it shows what athletes are capable of, and this is a big event that does that.
Yeah, awesome. So speaking of what you both have shared about how inclusion is helping you to really connect and learn from athletes. Give us an example of what you've learned from Special Olympics athletes in the community, whether it's myself or another. I mean, you don't have to give an example of myself, but you could give another Special Olympics athlete too. But give us an example of what you have learned from us.
Sure. So I'm going to use you. I'm going to take the easy route here. I'm going to take the easy route here. But yourself, Daniel, I mean, we're here recording a podcast in our PD conference room, and I mean, there's no limit to what Special Olympics athletes can do. I mean, you've been in just the conversations we've had, in and outside of our events and talking. I mean, there's just the possibilities are endless. I feel like there's that kind of stigma almost that like, oh no, that the person, they're not able to do a whole lot, or they can't live a regular life. That's totally out of my mind now. After seeing all, not and you yourself included, but all the athletes you encountered, there's able to accomplish so much and do so much more stuff that even then, like, I couldn't do this podcast. There's no way I could run a podcast. And I applaud you, all the time. And I couldn't. It's just whatever realm of thinking you have. If you have that thought that people are with disabilities are limited, they're not. I mean, they truly aren't. I mean, this is a prime example of it right here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Took mine. I mean, I've learned a lot overall. How much that these athletes affect everybody that they come into contact with. Because I wasn't, I knew personally from a young age, the impact of being close with someone. But it was great. I've learned that, going to a conference and things like that and meeting these athletes that I just learned how, as much as everyone says, how we as special, as torch run officers, mean to them, like I've learned like how much they mean to us, because it's just something meeting a new athlete every time, meeting you. I mean, it's just a great learning experience and really shows how special everything is.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to come back to the Polar Plunge in just a little bit, but the Polar Plunge is not the only law enforcement torch run event that you and your department does. How does the LaGrange Park Police Department work to build relationships with people with disabilities throughout the whole year, and not just the plunge? I think one of the first events that we came out to was the Burger Bash, but there was a number of other events that you guys do. So talk a little bit about some of those other law enforcement torch run events.
Yeah. So we do about, I'll touch on a few and then I'll let Tim touch on a few. So we run about, 4 or 5 events, you could say. Every year we've added some and expanded on some. So, we usually started off with the plunge, and then, we go on to a car show that we've recently done in the summer. For the last, this will be our third year of doing the car show. So it's a great thing. We have, you've came out to it, and we've had other athletes. They hand out the trophies and are one of our best judges. So we get involved with that. Also, not so much on our fundraising events, but just other ways we get involved with Special Olympic athletes. So every year we have, I've taken part in a basketball game. So with our Park Junior High, I don't know if you went there back in the day or not, but Park Junior High, one of their basketball teams, I believe, is a sponsored Special Olympic basketball team. And
Unified, or was it a unified basketball?
I believe it's unified. The Mighty Patriots.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I think they weren't at one point, but then I think, going through it. So it's called the Heroes versus Heroes game.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we do a basketball game with them. And so I guess this is the 11th year it has occurred. So this started way before me. Okay. So we play a basketball game against the local heroes, which is first responders from all over the area versus the team. We're 0-11 against them, but it's a great thing because this started 11 years ago that their last game of the season, their team canceled on them. And so they were calling other teams to see if they could play, and they couldn't get anybody. So they reached out, and the first responders in the area put a team together to play them. So every year now, their last home game is we play them. So it's called the Heroes versus Heroes. And it's just a great way to see the kids and Special Olympic athletes kind of just, they love the game. It's just a moment to connect with them. And that's just another way besides our events that we reach out to the athletes. But I'll let Tim talk about more of our events.
You just had one during the news on that event.
So it was just recently. It was about 2 weeks ago, I think. It was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So it's their last home game every year, and we have a big ceremony and type things like that for the 8th graders because that's their last game there. But it's been going strong for 11 years, and it's just a way to connect with Special Olympic athletes, especially since all of them are from usually within the area. Mm-hmm. So they're within LaGrange Park or LaGrange or Brookfield or stuff, or towns that feed into that school. So it's a great way just to connect with athletes early on.
Yeah, awesome.
So I know, Daniel, you mentioned our Burger Bash. That's one of our big keynote events of the year. That usually takes place in September or October. A business in town, Post 031, sponsors the whole thing for us. They're a great partner with us. We do an event where usually 5 or 6 officers get together, come up with a unique burger recipe, and everyone puts the recipe on the line, right? So everyone cooks their burger. We invite the community to come out. They come in for the entry fees, the donation of Special Olympics, the torch run, and the winner of the Burger Bash gets a wonderful trophy every year. Nick has won it a couple times, although he's been dethroned the last couple of years. 2-time champ. I have never won, so I think there's collusion there, but that's okay. Another event we do is the FOP golf outing. Our FOP Lodge here sponsors our golf outing every August. We do it. Again, 100% of the proceeds we make from that goes to the torch run. It's one of our growing events. We try to get bigger and bigger every year. We started off just doing a 9-hole course. Now we're doing a full 18. We've been hosting it at White Pines in Bensenville the last couple of years. It's slated for August 20th this year. So if any listeners out there want to come hit the links with us, you're more than welcome to come out. It's open to the public. We'll have hopefully some information on that hitting the internet here pretty soon here on our social media pages. We also we partner with a local brewery that does brews for a cause, kind of what we called the last couple of years, where they make a special brew for us, special beer, and they donate part of the profits from that night that we host it to the torch run. So that's our Burger Bash, our car show, our golf outing, and then the Polar Plunge, and we're working on another one coming up here soon too with the local elementary schools. We're in talks with them right now to get it up and running, hopefully at the beginning of next school year. So not quite this year, but August of next year we'll have a big event to get all of our schools involved, because that's kind of the path we're trying to take now, is and get more of the community involved. Like we've done a lot here at the department, and we realize how big of a community we have and how much support we get for it. So we figure, why not branch out a little bit and get our schools involved too.
Awesome. So speaking of getting the community involved, we'll jump a little bit back to the Polar Plunge, but also maybe touch on some of the other law enforcement 2020 events. How have you seen the community respond to seeing local officers, whether it's yourself or your coworkers, in taking the plunge?
Overwhelming support. I mean, we get a lot of support from our community for this event. We have residents reach out, drop off donations just to the PD for us. The community, the response we've gotten has been amazing. We throughout the years we started off slow and added events as we've gone on that what we can handle and kind of balance in between our regular work obligations. And every time we host one, we get rave reviews from the community. They love it. They want to see more of it. And as the years have gone on, the last 5 years or 6 years since we started doing this or got really involved in it, is you've seen each event grow a little bit every single year. We've got more people to come out, more people donate, more sponsors want to get involved, because once they hear about it and they see the kind of publicity they get from it, or just what the cause is, they want to jump in and be a part of it. So it's been big for us.
Yeah, the community support has been great. Every year we get people, like Tim said, asking us when the events are and how excited they are for the events. It's just a great, support from everybody. We get new people that join our plunge, new officers that come here, that come up with new ideas for new events, like Tim touched on, that we're going to do something with our schools at the end of this year, beginning of their school year. And it's just overwhelming, that more and more people want to be involved and really want to grow our events and be involved.
Awesome. So speaking of different people in the community get involved, give us an example too of a couple brief stories of whether it's a resident or a business or a school joining in, whether it's the Polar Plunge or another law enforcement 2020 event, because of both of your leadership that you've shown. Is there an example that you can think of?
As Tim said, our biggest one, would be the owner of Post 031, Jason. He is just more than generous. He donates the burgers, the space. He doesn't take any events for that day once we schedule something. He's just great. His cooks are there, help sometimes prepping us stuff and things like that. It's overwhelming, how great he is to the event and the cause and everything like that. I don't know if you have any other.
A couple more businesses that have come in, but one of our local hardware store, Ace Hardware, has donated to different events throughout the year. We've cold called a lot of these people, like, hey, we've kind of just shown up, and then we haven't done anything like this in the community before. And when we've done it, we haven't really been told no. We kind of tell everybody what we're about when we're doing these events, and they come out without asking anything more of them. Ace Hardware has been a big one. Our local park district, who's supportive of a lot of special big events and unified athletes. When we first came up with the idea at the car show, we didn't really have a place to do it. We had an idea, but not a place to do it. We went to them with it, and it was an easy yes. When we first started doing it, it was easy yes. There was no issue with it whatsoever. And it seems like every time we reach out to someone, Drew Lasco, I could rattle off a bunch more, but every time we've kind of reached out or want to grow the event or get bigger with it, we kind of let people know what we're doing it for. There's never, it's not, oh, I can't help. It's what can I do more to help? And that's the coolest part, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. So, as you know, the Special Olympics movement impacts thousands of athletes like myself across Illinois, but also across the country. And I think this movement is in 190 countries. It impacts over 4 million. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but
it's a lot for
somebody at Special Olympics International can correct me on that, but I think over 4 million athletes across the globe. What does being part of the Special Olympics movement, and as I think a lot of us say in the or our chairman Tim Shriver talks a lot about the inclusion revolution. So what does it mean to be part of this inclusion revolution, to be part of the Special Olympics movement that supports so many athletes across Illinois, across the globe?
It's overwhelming. I mean, when we first got into it, it was we knew we were helping something, right? And when we started going to the conferences and meeting more athletes, to see their reaction to what we were doing and how much it supported them, and kind of even just talking with you about how where this money goes to, like when it's donated, the equipment it can get, the field rentals, the court rentals, whatever it can do to make it an easier experience for athletes. It's overwhelming. If you haven't been a part of it, or you've seen it on TV or seen it advertised, get involved. It will open your eyes to what's out there.
Awesome. Nick?
No, it means a whole lot to be part of this. Like I said, growing up with a relative that was a special mixed athlete, on the personal level, but then when being involved in it, you get to see how and why it's such a great cause. You see, we were just at the kickoff conference for the torch run in Illinois, and especially being part of, I think we're lucky to be part of Illinois, because I mean, they won again. They were just saying there that raised the most money, and. Yeah.
5 million last year, I think.
Yeah, 5 million. I actually went thinking it might be just shy under 6.
Under 6, yeah.
It was like 5.8 or something, or 9. No, and then they had the biggest increase, our net increase that they put up. But just to see how, like Tim said, where the money goes, and not even just with the money aspect of it, but then how, everybody, touches each other's lives. Athletes to officers, and back and forth.
Yeah, awesome. So if our listeners want to support our Polar Plunge, just because it's too much, it's too hard to reach all to the computer. Plus, I think the link to the plunge page is kind of long. So, we will, a lot of them. So we're gonna instead, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, I'll put a link to our plunge page. So if you all want to help and support us as we take the plunge again. But what are your goals for this year's plunge, and then also follow that up with how our listeners can support not only the Polar Plunge, but also because some of our listeners might listen to this in time for the Polar Plunge, but some what I found is a lot of listeners will listen to this on demand anytime throughout the year. So follow that up with how listeners can support the other law enforcement torch run events that you mentioned, whether it's the Spurgash or the car show or the basketball. I know when you guys came out to my basketball game, I think one of my other teammates who also lives in town wants to come out to the Spurgash.
Oh, great!
But share kind of a little bit about what are your goals for the plunge, and then how can our listeners support the upcoming events?
Well, our goal right now is we're at 50% of that, so we got to kick it up for the next 2 weeks. But our goal currently is to raise $5,000. We are just at 50% of that now. So if anybody's listening just in time, you go into the description, you could donate to any of our plungers. I am team captain, so I will take some extra help. So, I should be the competition. I need all the help I can get. So you could do that. But for our other events, I'll let Tim touch on some of our other events, but not even just, coming out and supporting or, donating, which is huge because this money goes to a great cause. But, if somebody ever wants to reach out for certain of our events, we could use volunteers for our car show and other events that if we plan in the future, just to come out and support us and spread the word at the very least. We should put things on our social media if people want to share it. If they want to just come out and be, volunteer, because the car show, that's a pretty big one where, we got to coordinate cars and exits and things like that. So, but I'll let Tim talk about some of the other.
Yeah, we're always looking for help, whether it be volunteers, sponsorships, whatever people are willing to do. One thing we do at the police department is we sell Special Olympics torch run merchandise. So Nick's wearing one of the older shirts. It's a good one. But we sell shirts here, and all those profits can go right back to the torch run. If you want to get involved in one of our events, you can reach out to me here at the police department. You can send me an email or just call our number here at 708-352-7711, extension 215. That's my landline number. And I can reach out and I can talk with anybody who wants to join up, but any businesses, any people that want to donate, however you see fit, whether it be time, whether it be money, which is always great because it helps us reach our goal. But we're always looking for help with everything. So Burger Bash should be coming up we haven't solidified the date yet. That'll be in October. That one, just come out and have a good time. There's an entry fee. It's great food. The officers here do a real good job of cooking some really good burgers. I'm sure you guys can vouch for that.
Yes, we can.
So our car show, looking for volunteers all the time, just because, like Nick said, it's a big event. It's a lot of people. And every year we've done it, it's gotten bigger. I think the first year we did it, it was like 60 cars. Second year we did it was 70 cars. Last year it was really, really hot outside. We still had plenty of people show up, which was awesome. Hoping for better weather and a bigger turnout this year. So even some volunteers, or if you're a business and you want to sponsor us, reach out to me or reach out to Nick. We can make that happen. And just to reiterate, 100% of this stuff goes towards Special Olympics. We don't, the department, the FOP Lodge, we don't keep a dime of this stuff. This goes
just one quick example. We have on our car show a local DJ that comes out and he does the DJ music, for free. He doesn't even want us to plug him that he's doing this. He just thinks it's a great cause. And also any businesses, not even if it's monetary, but if you have like products or anything like that, we could use those for raffle prizes. So we have another great business in town. They don't like us. They or want us to ever plug their name on it, but they make nice trophies for us and banners, and they also give us a bunch of smaller gifts to raffle off. So anything and everything is appreciated.
Awesome. And speaking of, you said that that every donation goes to Special Olympics, that you send to the law enforcement torch run. Why is every donation, either whether it's a big donation from like a business or even small, like with like whether it's the Polar Plunge or a lot of the other events, it's small donations from the community? Why is every donation so meaningful for Special Olympics?
Yeah, every donation, whether it's money or even time or gifts, like everything goes towards Special Olympics. All the money that is raised, everything gets sent to them. And it's just so meaningful because it just shows the support. It shows that the community cares. It shows that they are part of this great movement, like you said earlier. And it's just great to see everybody come together for this inclusion of everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah, when it comes to this kind of cause, every dollar is important, right? We're trying to buy equipment for athletes. We're trying to reserve fields. We're trying to reserve hockey rinks. Whatever platform or area they need, they're trying to reserve coaching. But not only that, but correct me if I'm wrong, that they also offer career training and classes and everything like that. And every dollar is spent in a way to help athletes further their careers, further their lives, become more included in the world that we live in, right? Yeah. So employment too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, when people are supporting the torch run and supporting Special Olympics, it goes much more than not just the sports programs, but athlete leadership, or the health. I think it's Special Olympics. It's the world's largest health program for people with intellectual disabilities. There's the Unified Champion Schools, which gets into the education work. So there's a lot more programs, and people might think, oh, it's just supporting sports, but there's a lot more. So
there's so much more to it, and it's not until we met you, really, Daniel, and then got to meet some more athletes who've gone on the way. some of the conferences where we've had some speakers talk to us about how much more it's involved. Like you said, it's not just sports, it's career training, it's health, it's education. I mean, it's money it's money that's well spent.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see it in action too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a few final closing thoughts here. What's the message that you want to share with other Special Olympics athletes who are listening to the episode today?
Sure. Any athletes out there that are listening, I would say that if you have any doubts that you can do it, don't have them. We're here to learn. We're here to learn the sport, or we're here to learn. Work together, I should say, is probably a better way. We're here to work together to get everybody to meet their goals, or to get these new experiences. And if you're hesitant to do it, I would jump in head first. That's kind of how we did it here, getting involved. And I would say to not just Special Olympics athletes, but also people looking to get involved to help the community, this is a great way to do it. It's a wonderful cause. It helps so many people that even you may not, that even we don't realize right now what we're doing to help people. And it's an overwhelming feeling to kind of see it in action, and very proud of the work we've done here.
Yeah. One message I always like to say to the athletes is, as much as this impacts your guys' lives, you guys impact our lives. Like, every athlete I've ever met, it just, you could be having a bad day, but you meet a Special Olympic athlete and they put a smile on your face. They're excited to see you. It's such a great feeling to meet a Special Olympic athlete. They've taught me so much about not just a program, but life in itself. And I just want to say that you guys have a great impact on our lives, and help us really realize what we're doing.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. What do you hope our listeners will take away from the conversation that we're having today when it comes to inclusion, when it comes to community? Because that's a lot when people see police officers like yourself and coming together. It's really about bringing inclusion when you're in interaction with us. So what do you hope our listeners will take away? Well, besides supporting the plunge.
Yeah, and all the other events.
Yes.
No, one thing that can be really taken away is, a community is always made up of many different people. There's many different communities out there, but every community, not everybody's the same, and there's Special Olympic athletes in every community. And just by, promoting this inclusion, promoting this community events, it's just great to just see everybody come together, because we all, share a community, share this planet, share everything. So it's great, and we're not going to get anywhere unless we come together and work together. And I think that, doing these events, obviously raises money, but really raises awareness and really shows what we can get done if we all come together as a community.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I would hope people would take away, and it's kind of encompasses our jobs here as police officers, is we try to make impacts in everybody's lives every day, whether it be small or big. We try to make an impact in our community. And the one thing I would hope people take away from this is to just kind of change their perspective. You may have an idea in your head or something that, athletes aren't able to do as much as I can, or don't have the capabilities to do as much as I can. It's just not true. Yeah. I mean, there's athletes who could do more than Nick and I. I mean, it's the things that everyone is capable of is pretty amazing, and is to, I would say, give someone the opportunity to show you that. And that's what I've done. Coming into this program and being a part of the torch run has been able to kind of show me what people are capable of, and it'll surprise you if you get involved how rewarded you'll be in looking for that.
Awesome, absolutely. And a few before we get to the final question, or I should say the last final two questions. Do you have any final encouragement for someone who might be thinking about taking the plunge? I know my dad, who's off camera, has not taken the plunge yet. So maybe this is speaking. Maybe this is speaking to someone like someone like him who has not yet done the plunge. But of course, I mean, anybody, even just raising money for the plunge still helps. So I should put that out there. But if it's somebody who has not yet taken the plunge for the first time, what we tell them?
I would say don't be afraid. The water's not that cold, although we've maybe said that a little differently. But don't be afraid. You're only in the water for like 10 seconds. It's totally fine. I mean, I would say don't be afraid. Try new things, right? I never thought in my wildest dreams I would jump in a cold body of water for any reason besides maybe to jump off a boat. But no, I mean it's a fun event, and I think you will be pleasantly surprised at how fun it is and how rewarding it is to be able to be a part of it.
Awesome.
There's it's all sorts of people that take the plunge. There's officers, there's the athletes, family members. When we took the plunge every year, there's people that plunge with their kids, that are maybe 9-10 years old and things like that. So don't be afraid, depending on your age or or anything else like that. They got dive team guys there, lifeguards and everything like that. It's safe. It's monitored. They got a warming station. And then, they have the changing room tents that are heated this year, or last year they were heated as well. So, and it's just a great event. So just come out and support it.
Awesome. Yeah. And yes. Do you have any final thoughts on your overall before we get to that final question that kind of is a call to action? But do you have any final thoughts on coming on the Special Chronicles podcast? I know you get to probably have listened to some episodes in the past, and now finally coming on.
Hey, it's great to be here. It's my first podcast ever I was on. I've listened to a lot of them, but I've never been part of it, and I'm really thankful that you asked us to be part of it. Just to see how this all does, behind the scenes production, so it was really great, and I was honored for you to ask us.
Yeah, awesome. Even with cameras falling,
a little malfunction, but that's okay. Yeah. We're working through it.
Yes.
I follow you on Instagram, Daniel. I see some clips from the podcast, listen every now and then, and I am, again, just like Nick, very honored to be a part of it and to be able to try to promote the message of the torch run and inclusion through Special Olympics. I've never been on a podcast either, so this is pretty cool. Hopefully we can be on again soon. Yes. We'll give our special guest takes on certain things, but it's been fun. And I really enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing this go live and many more come from you.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun having you both on, and I'm glad we're able to educate our listeners about all the work that the law enforcement torch run does for Special Olympics. And anytime they guys want to come on and talk about another event, you're welcome to come on. We got a final question, and we'll get a quick 30-second bumper to kind of introduce that final question that you guys will hear when the podcast goes live. So we talked about inclusion a little bit, and so this final bumper will introduce that final question.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our shared humanity.
We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
So ever since I attended the 2019 Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi, been asking this final question because of course we want our listeners to listen to these podcast episodes, but even more than that, we want to leave our listeners with a call to action to bring inclusion into their communities, which is exactly what you're doing. But we want to, this final question kind of help to give that call to action to of some good kind of talking points and good points of how they can bring inclusion. So you guys can answer this however you want. But what does inclusion mean to both of you?
It's a big question. Inclusion for me would be means kind of bringing everyone together, right? That's, I guess that's the kind of the easy, simple answer, but it's more than that. It's communities is built upon many different personalities, diversities, ethnicities, and really kind of getting to know each other and making that community mold together. I think inclusion is listening to each other, seeing how we all work or operate in our environment, and understanding the limitations, or what limitations there aren't, or what, or kind of change our minds about what someone can do or can't do, and really kind of have an open mind to what people are capable of. And my call to action would be is to go to a Special Olympics athlete event. You're going to be pleasantly surprised about how fun it is. I mean, I've only been to a couple. We were just at your basketball game recently. Yeah. It was a great game. It was a fun atmosphere. I've enjoyed that more than some professional sporting events I've been to. But I mean, seriously, it's a fun time, and I think you see more of the enjoyment of the sport there than you will at some other events. So,
awesome.
Yeah, that's a very good question. When it comes to inclusion, especially when it comes to, not just this, but everything, obviously everybody has differences, but, we all have similarities, and learning how to recognize everybody's differences and to accept them. I mean, there's a whole lot, you can't change. There's only a few things you can control, and that's, your actions and your reactions to others' actions. And it's, as Tim said earlier, sometimes it's good just to, step outside your comfort zone, meet somebody, talk to somebody that you wouldn't normally meet or talk to, and just learn about them, because there's always, no matter how different you think you are from somebody, there's always a bunch of similarities. We're all, humans, and we all have the same, basics, but, and we differ on some levels, but at the end of the day, it's just getting to know somebody, because you'd be surprised. I know from this job and just life experiences, there's plenty of people that, you come across in this job that from different walks of life that, you learn that there's similarities, you learn, that we're all in it together.
You have a lot more common with people than you realize.
Yes, you do. And I think the first step to that is, for a special call to action, is just step outside your comfort zone. Go to a Special Olympic event, talk to somebody that, just a hi, just to, connect with another person. Because, in this age of, even though we are more connected nowadays with technology, sometimes we're less connected. So, just talk to somebody as a first step, or go to one of these events just to step outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely. Well, that's both perfect ways to leave our listeners on. That's it for this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. A huge thank you to Nick and to Tim for coming on. We've been recording. I wasn't going to say live, but we're not really live. We coded. So we coded on location. On location at the LaGrange Park Police Department. Thank you both for sharing your stories, your passion, and your commitment to inclusion through the Polar Plunge, but even more than that, through the law enforcement torch run, bettering Special Olympics. If this conversation has inspired you, you can consider supporting our team. The link will be in the description below, wherever you are listening to this. Yes, if you're watching this, it'll be in the YouTube description. Consider taking a plunge yourself. Come out to another law enforcement, another Torch One event that you both are doing. I think I forgot to ask, how can listeners find out about the upcoming Torch One events?
So on our social media page, on
Village of LaGrange Park Facebook page.
The Village of LaGrange Park Facebook page, our Instagram.
We have a Village of LaGrange Park Facebook page. We have a LaGrange Park FOP Facebook page. So LaGrange Park FOP. Yes, I'm the behind the scenes guy. So Village of LaGrange Park Facebook. We have a LaGrange Park FOP Facebook page, as well as an Instagram, and I think we even have a Twitter, or X, whatever it's called now. But you can also, if you subscribe to the public safety briefs or the village newsletters through LaGrange Park, you can find that. Right. And I think we are also featured on the Special Olympics Illinois website, on the calendar of events. Burger Bash. We've been featured on there before. So awesome. Find us in the we also check the local paper too. We have a couple of reporters that keep tabs on us, and we do special events. Awesome. Google us, you'll find us.
yes.
Daniel does a great job of plugging us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow him.
And I know I speak for Nick as well. Thank you, Daniel, for being
Thank
a part
you.
of our program here.
Thank you.
You have opened up so many doors for us to be able to kind of get our message out there. And this is just treat. I mean, this is
an honor.
This is an honor to be a part of.
It's everything that you and the other officers do to support us. Anything that any of us athletes can do to give back to also support you really means a lot.
We appreciate it.
So for full show notes to stream more episodes on demand, because it's not live, it's on demand. Yeah,
On demand.
That's what podcasts. Right?
On demand, I think so.
Yeah, you can subscribe to the Special Chronicles podcast at specialchronicles.com. Or find us wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm sure there's probably something else that young kids are supposed to say, but I don't know. We'll leave that to what the kids say. Anyways, thanks all for listening. Until next time, we'll see you on the plunge.
See you at the plunge.
And until then, choose to include. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes for absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks as always to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
And that's what helps other people.
Giving respect.
And you listen to Daniel, a lot of people
with special.
He's a popular guy.
I don't know about that.
Because he was a spokesperson for international, a lot of athletes get to know him. So they know that. But what they want to hear now is in everyday life. How are you guys impacted by Special Olympics? Why are you guys even involved? Those things that Daniel's asking. That's what makes ours successful. How many viewers do we have every month now?
I forgot. What was the last number we looked?
8,000.
Was it 18,000 average? Yeah, I think it was over 18,000.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, I'll check.
Now that's global. So that's
that's still a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's more than in this.
But it started with I think only 50 in the first year, 17 years ago.
That's I'm proud of.
And I remember when he started 15 years ago, he had he did a show and he comes home one day. He says, "Yeah, I had 20 people listen to me," and of course now we have 18,000 every month.
I'm lucky if I get one person listening most of the time.
I never expected the impact to continue 17, 18 years later.
The message is that the reason why people listen to it because they want to hear everyday life perspective. The police officer, the CEO of a company, the athlete, the small business person. They want to hear their story. Well, why are they involved? That's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
So thank you.
We're happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. Okay, I should stop recording.
Daniel, we have to do something about that technology upgrade.
Yeah, we do you have a camera at home in the home studio, like an actual digital camera, or do you guys do it off the laptop?
Well, we do have cameras, but we found that this to be
more efficient.
Yeah. You don't have to upload anything.
Except this is all set up on a table.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have a much easier setup in between them. Yeah.
And now, I manage the business, so I see next week he's going to come up and says, whatever he's going to need now is just, we need to buy this and this and this.
You're going to have the next business meeting.
Yeah, no kidding. So your kid's a little sick today, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit from just being normal.